Pledge of the allegiance, please?
Sure, certainly. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with
Liberty and
justice for all. In a moment of silence for all of our healthcare, first responders. Okay.
Okay.
So I see the first order of business is a resolution appointing chairman. I would like to make a motion to appoint Terry as our chairman.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 I'll abstain. Thank you.
You're in charge of the meeting now, sir.
Thank you.
Hello, Chris.
Hey. First of all, thank you very much. I'm humbled and very proud to accept that, and I will endeavor throughout this 1 year to do my very best to organize an effective meeting each time, have a complete agenda that includes new and old business, correspondence, and action items, regardless of the type of meeting that we have. And then at the end of the year, as customarily should be done, I won't accept, unless there are circumstances that would require me to accept the second year. So I'll do 1 year, and then I would ask that one of my fellow commissioners take up the following year, but I think that's the way it should be done. And I wholeheartedly agree with Chris Weddle on that notion. And thanks for having that conversation. The next order of business is an appointment of a commissioner. We do have a new commissioner, Chris Weddle, who's returning. And customarily, what do we do here, Tony?
We just, he had the election already, right?
Right.
Correct.
I was elected.
Yeah.
You were elected.
He was elected.
So we're not, so this line, there is no appointment of any commissioner.
The only one is when Eric left on December 31st, I was, I guess, appointed at that time.
The next item then is appointment of attorney. Tony, customarily, how is this done in the past?
Okay, we just make a motion to have Michael Ligori as our attorney, and that the company is Hogan and Rossi.
Mhm.
Hogan and Rossi is the company.
Yeah.
So if everybody agrees to keep Michael Ligori, that's all we have to do.
I make it second on that.
Tony made the first.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. The next item, number 5, is appointment of treasurer. Do we have a motion?
I make a motion
Rob.
to make Robin Rossi the treasurer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We should name the salary. So is that consistent with last year?
Thank you. I'll go to the board. What's customary on this, gentlemen?
Customary to have a discussion without the treasurer being present.
I'm taking the minutes.
Oh, boy. Maybe you should.
I think I can mute myself. Let me see.
What was it? What was the income? What was the salary for last year?
So 17,000.
17.
What was it the year before?
Oh, we had a combination. We had a bookkeeper and a treasurer.
So that's
We
not
had-
combined?
I'm trying to
20.
think, 10 and 13, 23.
So are you doing both, Robin?
Yeah, she's the treasurer.
He's doing all of it, Chris.
And bookkeeper. Robin has been fantastic over the past year.
Yeah, she's doing a good job.
Make a motion, we increase that salary to 19,000.
I'll second that.
I agree.
All in
She's doing
favor?
Aye.
Aye. It's 19. Okay,
19.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
you're welcome.
Next item, number 6, appointment of secretary. Do we have a motion?
I'd like to be heard on that.
Yeah.
It's my understanding that we have received, at least I have reviewed 3 separate resumes for applicants for this position. Have I missed one or am I correct?
You've received 3.
I believe I've reviewed 3.
Okay, from what I understand, my records show we received 2. There were 3 names, and I spoke to each of the applicants, and I asked them to send a cover letter and resume. We received 2.
Okay, so I've been 3 names is what I meant, is what I heard.
Yes, you're correct, yes.
Okay, and of what I've received, I mean, I have a preference. Let's cut through it. I make a motion, we appoint Sandra Stein as secretary.
Right. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the salary,
What was the last year?
15.
The year before?
I believe Judy's been here at least 2 years, so I think it was consistent both years.
I believe so.
Yes. It's correct.
I would propose, since this is a new person in a new position, I would propose that this time we keep it at 15 with an option to revisit in June.
I agree.
I would agree as well. So you currently have a motion. We had a discussion. The motion is for Sandra Stein to maintain at 15 until June, and we revisit. Is that correct?
Yes.
And we had a second on that?
I'll second.
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Excuse me, Carrie,
Yes.
can you please invite Miss Sandra Stein in now, please?
She is not on the attendee list that I have in the room right now, so I will send her an invitation directly to her email.
Okay,
I don't
okay,
think it's on here right now.
thank you. Please forgive me, I'm just making some notes here.
Oh, Robin was doing that.
Yeah, as well.
Agenda number 9, authorizing banks for depository for district funds. Can we have a discussion on that?
Are we skipping the bond resolution?
Oh, excuse me.
So that's
yes,
the surety bond.
Yes, forgive me. Thank you, Chris. Number 8, setting the treasurer's and commissioner's bonds.
So this is the one that, as I said on the agenda, had 3 million. When I spoke to the insurance agency, they told me, no, it's 2 million. If we want to move it to 3, we can purchase the additional million. So it would be a choice of what you would like to do as a group.
I don't know. I feel that we should increase it to 3 million.
But Tony, do you know what we have in liquid assets?
Robin, just rough off the top of your head, do we have more than that, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Oh, definitely. Like 5 at least.
yeah, so maybe we should even increase it to 4.
Do you know what the delta on that is, Tony?
You mean the premium for it?
Yeah, exactly. Between 2 and 3 or 4 or 5.
Robin said, what was it, Robin? A couple of hundred?
The email, I thought she said 200 per million. Yes.
It's another 400.
Yeah, that seems prudent.
I agree.
Agree.
You think we should raise it to 4?
Well, we do have a letters of credit against the deposits in Westchester Bank from the bank, so they guarantee the deposits and, but
Do you think we should just increase it to 3 then? Robin?
yeah, I don't know what to say. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But the purpose, I mean, I assume that the deposits are split up among different bank accounts so that they're fully covered FDIC. So we don't have to worry about that. The question is whether or not we have to worry about malfeasance. And
Right. Mm-hmm.
I think we should at least increase it to 3.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
Agreed.
I'll reach out to Diane at Guion Agency.
Okay.
Tony, would you like to state that motion?
Okay, I want to, let's see. Let's see. And commissioner's bond should be increased to 3 million.
That's treasurer's and commissioner's bond, correct?
Correct.
Got it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So we took care of setting the treasurer's and commissioner's bond. Number 9, authorizing banks for depository of district funds. Robin, do we need to have a discussion on that? Bring us up to speed.
Sure.
Thank you.
So we had looked at NICLAS, which is a pooling of funds that communities, governments can use and invest in. And when they gave a presentation to us last year, Westchester Bank came back with a higher rate, so we kept our funds at Westchester Bank. We do have 1 checking account, which we call our NOW account, and 3 reserves with them. The rates are dropping, constantly, but they are in every bank. So the point to be made here is, are we happy with our 1 bank? Would we like to put another bank as an option? I recommend that we put NICLAS on the list just in case it's something at some point you wanted to move to, but we could entertain any bank. And just by putting them on the list doesn't mean we're using them. It means that it's an option for us during the year.
Is that the bank that we had considered earlier last year?
Yes,
Yes.
NICLAS.
Okay.
Mhm. I will say Westchester Bank is great. I mean, they are a small town and anything we need, they are, really good to us.
I agree with Robin also. They're a good bank.
Right.
They like to help us. So I'll make a motion to stay with Westchester Bank.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Number 10, authorizing signatories for checking accounts.
So as we normally have, I issued the checks from here from a home office and I sign and then send them down to the commissioner's office during COVID, and Brian or Anthony is usually signing. When we have our normal meetings, we bundle the checks per each person's responsibility and they sign off on them at the meeting.
Mhm.
Thank you, Robin. Did we need to discuss with Chris, to catch up with Chris to get his signature cards done?
Yeah, so on 12/31, the bank's obligated to have new, to remove Eric and add Chris. However, they didn't get Chris's identification. So they sent to me signature cards and a resolution that is now on the commissioner's desk. And everyone's name is in there to be signed off on. And if Chris can put his name on the bottom line, that's fine. He could sign off, but it will need that copy of paperwork that the bank needs to move forward. So it's sitting there in the office on the desk for everyone to drop in and sign. And hopefully, Chris, you can do that as well.
So just a question, please, with respect to this agenda item, do we need a motion on this, or are we just discussing this right now?
No, I think you need a motion to determine what the signatories will be.
Yeah.
Yes, and also we had previously said that we didn't like electronic checks, but with COVID, I have been paying Con Edison and Verizon and Amalgamated only via bank check. And when any vendor is created to be paid, Tony automatically gets an email saying that someone created a payee. So I have also added that line on there that I wanted you to approve that we continue with that for Con Edison, Verizon, and Amalgamated. If you don't agree, we'll stop it.
No, it's been working, and it's been, I think it's been working well. I think we should continue until this virus is over. That's my personal feeling.
Yeah, I agree.
I have no problem with it.
Having said that, we'll entertain a motion for this line item. Chris?
Quick question though.
Yes, sir.
Robin, the way the resolution is worded, it's for life insurance. You mentioned Amalgamated, but there's also a life insurance component to LoSAP. Are you including that, or is that a separate check?
It's separate, so I could definitely write Amalgamated on that so that you have that differentiation. It's Amalgamated Life Insurance.
Okay, so I would make a motion that authorize signatories for district checks and disbursements be either the treasurer and one commissioner, or two commissioners authorized. I would also include in that the treasurer is authorized to have electronic checks issued to pay utilities and the amalgamated life insurance premiums.
Second.
All in favor? Oh, I'm sorry, Tony.
No, I seconded it first.
You're so competitive.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you for that, Chris.
And actually, I framed that as a motion, but did it have to be a resolution? Is it subject to a permissive referendum?
Great question.
Yeah, it's a good question.
Then reframe it. I make a motion that we resolve to, et cetera, et cetera.
You got that, Robin?
Yes.
Thank you. Can we just take a moment to welcome Sandra Stein, who joined the meeting?
Hi.
I,
Good evening.
Hello, Sandra.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me. Thank you very much for having me. I really do mean that sincerely.
You're
Welcome.
now the Secretary of Newcastle Fire District Number 1. Robin Rizzo is our treasurer. You'll be working very closely with Robin, and as all the other board members will tell you, is that we rely heavily on the secretary and treasurer, and I need to be told exactly what to do sometimes, and that's the job of the secretary and the treasurer very often. And then we can take that back to the board and discuss it. But please, as both treasurer and secretary, please do your best with respect to this job, because it is so important. It's very important. Thank you for being here, Sandra.
Thank you. Thank you. It's my honor and my privilege. Thank you.
I just have one question.
Yes, of course.
Terry, is she going to work with the chiefs if they need her?
I would say that, you know, we're one big team here, but that'd be subject to the approval of the board. But I wouldn't object to everyone just working closely for, you know, the benefit of the residents in the fire district and the fire department. But I don't know the answer to that.
Well, if I remember rightly, we voted yes to that last year, didn't we, Tony?
Yeah, it was a couple of years now.
Yeah, if they need help, the secretary has permission to help them.
So do we need to bring that to a motion? What would be customary right now with that?
We could, but if the chief staff needs any help, that Sandra could help them. You know, they usually do a lot themselves, but sometimes they need a little bit of help, and you know, the other ones used to help them too. I know Nancy used to help them a lot. Nancy Zezzi.
I'd just say if they need help, that she can help them. That's all. It's just, you know.
Yeah, I for what it's worth, I don't know if it helps at all, but I'm familiar with some of them just because my husband is a volunteer firefighter in Millwood. So I have spoken to Chief Iden, and Chief Maitland helped train my husband when he went through school. So I'm very happy to do it, assuming you all give me the green light to do so. I don't want to overstep in any way, but on my end, I'm very happy to do any of it.
Yeah,
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, they might not ask for it, but if they do, you know, I know Nancy Zezzi helped them before.
Yes, she told me that as well.
Yep.
Thank you.
Well, we are one large. I'm sorry, we are one large team, and I hope that you know, we can, you know, just keep that in mind.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we can. And I would be in favor, whatever Sandra wants to do is fine with me, but she is an employee of the district.
Correct.
Right.
And
And
so
that's why,
anything she wants to do would be outside the scope of her employment unless we have a further discussion about compensating her for that work, depending on what it becomes.
very good point. And that's why I asked if we needed a motion on that. But what's your pleasure on this, commissioners? Chris brings up a good point.
Right.
Well, I don't know, Sandra, were you watching the meeting earlier?
No, I was given access just now when I joined in.
Okay, so the motion that was passed was that we would set your salary at $15,000 a year with an option, because you're a new employee, with an option to revisit it in June. If you find yourself being not taxed, but if you find yourself dedicating additional time to the chief's needs, please remember to raise that with us in June.
Mhm.
Okay, that sounds very fair. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
That's a
Thank
good
you,
point.
Chris. Thank you. So moving on to the next item, number 11, appointing an official newspaper.
Make a motion to Journal News.
Yeah, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Number 12, setting meeting times and dates, excuse me.
Make a motion, the meeting's second Thursday of the month, 7 p.m.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Number 13.
The answer
I'm
is aye.
sorry.
But here's the question with respect to January's meeting. Are we going to have enough time to publish notification in compliance with the public meetings law?
Judy did publish that.
We did for the 14th?
Judy did tell me she did that, yes.
Fantastic.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Can we just discuss this for a minute? Chris brings up a very important point. I think that we need to be very cautious with respect to how we're posting and how we may not be posting our meetings. We have to do it in strict compliance with the law.
Right.
Although there could be times where there may be an instance where we may have a valid reason for not getting it up in time, whether it be a blackout or an emergency in and around town. But I just think that we really need to do much better in that regard. And hopefully over the coming weeks and months, we can get that squared away, because it's just so important. The public, they have a right to know when
Right.
we're getting together for business, and we need to publish it and have it posted properly. I just wanted to mention that. Thank you.
I agree, and I'll do everything on my end to make sure that we're in compliance. I think transparency is crucial, whether it's the time that we live in now or even before when we didn't have these issues. Transparency, I think, is at the heart of everything. So I'm going to do everything I can to bring myself up to speed as fast as possible. And I already began reading some of the the laws that I do have access to. So I will follow up on that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Sandra, if there are any laws that you don't have access to that you need, I do. So let me know.
Thank you.
Of
Thank you
course
very
do,
much, Chris.
Excuse me.
And I know Judy left all of her records at the office. I don't know if anyone, and her key, everything like that. So someone will have to meet her there.
Well, yeah, we'll make appropriate arrangements to get Sandra down to the office and do a walkthrough of the facilities and get access to the office. Thank
I
you.
got the keys.
Oh,
And the
we need
other-
to,
I was going to say also the 911 web, if she wanted to get a Newcastle Fire District #1 email, we have a contact for that.
yes.
Which I would recommend.
Okay, that sounds like a great idea. Thank you. Thank you, Robin.
You're welcome.
Well, and let me explain that, Sandra. You will be subject to FOIL requests. And so I would suggest conducting your official business on an official email address, so you do not expose your personal email.
I agree with you completely. That is great advice. Thank you.
And that's how I conduct. All my email with respect to the fire district is done on the official Newcastle Fire District #1.org.
Right.
Having said that, shall we move on to number 13, which is appointing an auditor for the district?
Okay, I want to make a motion that we keep BST and Company for our official auditor.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, I'm sorry, any discussion on that? Any discussion at all?
We actually have a contract that for 10,000 this year.
Right.
So the contract is $10,000 per year and they conduct an audit every year, yes?
Yes, this year it's 10. I think we had a 3-year contract and this is the last year of the contract coming up.
Okay, so then we should put that on our agenda, maybe a couple months out to perhaps if we need to go out to bid or renegotiate that, or whatever the process is.
Robin, they're coming, are they coming this month or?
They're actually not going to come because based on Russell's arrangements with the firehouse, they really would have trouble entering the building and sitting in the building. So they have given a Dropbox where I can put all the paperwork and request things from you as needed. And if you wanted to meet with them at some point, you could, anyone.
Mhm.
But for now, they were just planning to do it from long distance.
Okay. Sounds
Robin,
good.
do you know who the contact person at BST is?
His name is Jeremy DeBar. I can give it to you if you'd like it.
No, that's right.
Okay.
Any further discussion on that?
Nope.
Did we have the motion second? And
Yeah, I made a motion and Brian seconded.
all in
Right.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Number 14, adopting a procurement policy. Ms. Robin, you want to talk about that, please?
It's just something that has always been requested on a reorg meeting, is to readopt your procurement policy. We haven't updated it because the state hasn't updated anything as far as I'm aware. So it's really just reconfirming that's how we're purchasing every year.
Have we been in compliance with it over the past 12 months in your estimation?
Yes.
Thank you. Entertaining a motion on that one.
I'll make a motion to keep the same.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
That was Chris?
That was me. I abstain.
Okay.
Number 15, adopt COVID accounts payable policy for 2021. Robin, you want to discuss that, please?
So our normal policy would be to bring all checks to the meetings, and they would not be dispersed until after their signature at the meeting. But during this time period, when we're keeping a distance, we have been following a policy that I pick up the mail, that Brian leaves in the box. I issue the checks randomly throughout the month. He signs them. Everyone sees the check register prior to the meeting during the month, but we're just following a little bit of a different policy based on the pandemic.
Just so I'm clear, so you and Brian are in control of writing checks, and the remainder of the board receives a ledger of sorts?
Yes, before the meeting, every meeting, I will give you all the checks that are in the register that you will approve on a monthly basis. I
And
will
then-
ask certain commissioners if it's okay to pay a check that, or an invoice that they might be more knowledgeable of than I am or than Brian is. And I'll get an email, okay to pay, but Brian's signing them.
And are we
Tony
doing
signs them once in a while,
reconciliation
too.
every month, or?
Bank reconciliations are monthly. I usually send them to the chair and to Tony, who was the commissioner in charge of finance. But that was up for discussion too. This meeting is, I scan them. Who would like to have them? Because obviously I don't want to scan them if no one's looking at them. But if you're going to look at them, I'd love to scan them to you.
Thank you.
Do we have a motion to adopt COVID accounts payable policy for 2021?
I'll make a motion to adopt that.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Just a quick discussion. Robin, I think the board needs to see the reconciliation every month. If you could please send it to everyone, then this way, we have complete transparency in that. We're all seeing it before the meeting, and I think it would be helpful for everybody.
Sure, no problem.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I
Thank you.
abstain.
So the next item, what I would like to do, this is approving affiliations and memberships for 2021. Shall I read them all off and then we'll entertain a motion on that?
Have
If
they
you want,
changed?
no, should be the same.
Well,
I
just for the public, just in case someone is listening in,
Sure.
and I don't know, I think, just take me a moment if you don't mind. Is that okay?
No, that's
Sure.
okay.
All right, approve affiliations and memberships for 2021. Association of Fire Districts of the State of New York. Westchester County Association of Fire Districts. Mount Pleasant Fire Chiefs Association. Northern Westchester Fire Chiefs Association, National Volunteer Firemen's Council, NFPA, International Association of Fire Chiefs. That would be, and then FASNY. What's that acronym, please?
Basney.
Basney.
What's the acronym short for?
Firemen Association,
Yeah,
State of New
Firemen's
York.
Association, I think, of the state of New York.
Yeah,
My
got
husband
it.
gets that newsletter.
Thank you, thank you.
Yep.
Hudson Valley Firemen's Association, Westchester County Association of Fire Chiefs, New York State Association of Fire Chiefs, Westchester County Volunteer Firemen's Association, Chappaqua Millwood Chamber of Commerce. And that's the end of the list. So we'll entertain a motion to approve affiliations and memberships for 2021.
I make a motion to accept the affiliations.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Next item, appointing board members to committees. The first one is finance.
Tony.
Yeah, I'll stay on it
Thank you, Tony.
with the treasurer.
Customarily, do we need motions for each of these or just the entire slate?
Slade,
We could do
Got
the
it.
entire plate.
Thank you. So you got Tony. Insurance.
Chris, you want to take it?
Thank you,
yeah,
Chris.
I like Diane.
Okay.
Chris, is that good?
Yeah, okay.
Thank you, sir. Trucks.
Tony.
Tony,
Yeah. Thanks.
House.
I'll take it.
Mr. Murphy. Communications.
I'll take it.
Purchasing.
You were doing that, right, Terry?
Well, generally, yeah, I mean, I can certainly do that. Is it customary then to have the treasurer working with me on that?
Yeah, and the chiefs will.
The
help.
funny, we do have our chiefs in charge of the purchase orders.
That's true, yeah.
I mean, it's just different. I don't have any purchase orders here in my possession. But, you know, if you want to keep it that way,
Unless you
that's
want
fine.
to change it this year.
I mean, I'm not looking to modify anything. I just want to be more informed and perhaps just have a little more expertise at my side this coming year. So I can take purchasing and I'll work closely with the chiefs as I have in the past. And certainly Robin's going to have a lot of questions to answer for me this year.
I think,
Next
but
item.
I think the purchase orders should get switched over to the secretary or the treasurer, I mean.
I'm
Because there are
sorry, I
other
didn't,
things that we do that we deal with her, and if she has a purchase order, she's all set. And the chief's term is only a year term.
but Brian, if the chief puts in a purchase order for a helicopter, don't you think a commissioner should review that?
Yes. But what I'm saying to you is like, I go out for bid for the tables and chairs. I wind up having to go to Russell for purchase order, where if the treasurer had it, I wouldn't have had to go to Russell. The treasurer would have just had been able to deal with the purchase order.
I see your point. Yeah, no, well taken. That's going to annoy the chiefs though.
Well, I mean, you got to look at it this way. It's a 2-year, he basically runs for 2 years. Then who does it after that? You going to pass it on to the next chief? I don't think it's fair to keep passing it on to the chiefs. I think that's a responsibility of the board.
Robin, what do you think? How laborious would that be?
Well, normally, a department who wants to purchase something will give you the 3 quotes and the purchase order almost written up, and it's a matter of a commissioner and perhaps the treasurer signing it. If you are deciding if I should go find those 3 quotes,
I'm not saying
I
that.
don't have the
No,
expertise.
we're not
Yeah.
saying, we're not saying that. We're just saying that to, for you to have the purchase order, you know, like, we should have numbered purchase orders.
Right, they should be numerical and there should be a
Right.
log.
Yeah,
And
and we're not doing that at the moment. The
Because-
chiefs are preparing it, the
And plus,
purchase.
if we get audited, you're the one that's getting questioned.
yeah, I think that's how it would work in a larger municipality. And it could be that a treasurer and a commissioner sign off on it, because I would be able to say there's funds in the budget, whereas you would be able to say you agree with the purchase.
I don't know, I think you should, by right, you should be doing the purchase orders, you know, by number order, you know,
Is- I'm sorry, Tony, is right now, are the purchase orders being signed by the chief staff?
they're preparing it, they're setting the numbers.
So they would still be preparing it, but it'd be signed off on by Robin and one of the board.
Yeah,
That
they're
seems
just,
correct.
yeah, they're preparing it, but I think Robin should be doing it. You know, should do, you know, by numerical order.
Keep the log, keep the
Correct.
end result, the purchase order, that the original or whatever that the office should keep. And
Correct,
give the signed copy back to the chief so that he's free to order.
correct. Not the technical aspect of the purchase, but the maintenance of the record.
I would,
Correct.
that sounds great to me. Mhm.
So then, should I just then, we'll assign myself again this year along with Robin, and we will just customarily keep working with the chief as we have in the past? And then, and then finally, I think we need to review our purchasing policies. We need to review all policies each year.
Well, we're supposed to be doing that tonight. I am not prepared to do that because I don't have all the current policies.
Neither am I. Can we address that when we get to the bottom?
Sure.
Thank you. Uniforms, I'll take that again. Is that okay?
Yes,
And then turnout gear, I'm still learning about it. I can continue on that. Is that fine?
Yeah.
Thank you. Technology,
wants to take that.
I'll take it if,
You want to take it, Ed?
I'll do that.
Okay.
thanks, Ed.
Sure.
Medical and physicals. I'm sorry, but who had that last year?
Eric,
Usually the chairman has it because he signs the paper.
I will,
And
I will
basically all that is you just sign the contract and the chief handles it from that point.
okay, fair enough. And you fine gentlemen will guide me in that direction
Yep.
in terms of what I need to know. Thank you.
you're welcome.
Town board liaison. Can we just have a quick discussion on this?
Sure.
Sure.
I think it's vitally important that when we meet with town officials or other agencies, interested agencies, that we have a minimum of 2 commissioners at that meeting. So with this one, what I would propose to the board here tonight, that myself and Chris, if he's willing to take it, be the liaisons to any jurisdiction such as Mount Pleasant, Mount Kisco, Newcastle, and any other interested party or agency. And then this way, when we're having meetings, we have 2 representatives there, 2 different capabilities and experience areas to engage in such conversations. I think it would be very helpful.
I
In the
agree with
past,
you.
just send-
Larry.
I agree with you.
Yeah, just sending one person is, it just doesn't work.
No.
Traditionally, it is the chairman traditionally, or historically, I should say. I don't know what's been going on in the past few years.
Yeah,
No, it
I
was
think
the-
I think my role is fairly limited here. It has everything to do with the conduct of the meetings and the agenda and attempting to get consensus across the board. So to suggest that the chairman of this board has any other duty, it really doesn't. So
No, I agree with you. I agree with you there. I'm just saying traditionally, that was the conduit between that district and our district.
right. Yeah, and I get that. I'd be much more comfortable if we had a team approach with respect to dealing with other jurisdictions.
I agree with that.
I also
Yeah,
do
we're
too.
dealing with Kisco.
Yeah, and then we have to, we'll talk about that at our next meeting, but we have some business to do at Mount Kisco, Mount Pleasant, of course, and certainly here in Newcastle. So it will definitely benefit the board, the residents of the fire district, and also the fire department. Thank you for that, Chris.
Said yes.
Chris, did you say yes?
That was a question, not an assertion. Yeah,
Let's say yes.
I'll say yes.
Thank you, Chris. Compliance.
Finally, we came to one that I'm familiar with.
I recommend that Chris has compliance.
Agreed.
Thank you. And then finally, policy review.
I'll take that too.
We have enough, wait a minute.
It's
Chris,
compliance and policy review.
Excellent. Thank you, Chris. Chris, I'm going to throw myself on policy review as well. I have a little experience in that department. Is that okay with the board?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. So with respect to policies, due to we've had a fairly busy year at Newcastle Fire District #1, along with the fire department, and they did fantastic work throughout the year, particularly since February and dealing with COVID-19 and then the few storms and so forth. But we didn't effectively, I believe, review the policies. And they're not really available to me right now, other than some of the policies that I've reviewed online.
Which may not be current.
Correct.
I looked at some.
Thank you. So having said that, what's the board's position on conducting a thorough policy review separate from conducting this review during a scheduled meeting? Or should we schedule a work group on Zoom and review every single policy?
I think they should be on a work session.
Say again?
Should be a work session.
Can I make another suggestion?
Yes, please.
I think if I could get my hands on the current, I have most of the historical policies, but if I could get my hands on the current policies, perhaps Terry and I could go over them, provide the board with a synopsis of what our understanding of them is, and the board then could collectively decide which ones need to be discussed, adjusted, updated, and whatnot.
That's a great idea.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Very good.
So Sandra, did you hear that?
I did.
So I think that what we'll do is, Sandra, perhaps as early next week, we'll get down to our office and we'll pull everything out, and I'll ask for a little assistance from some of the other commissioners, including Chris, of course, and then we'll take it from there. Now, with respect, just quickly, I'm sorry, with respect to the policy review working meeting, Brian, that you mentioned, should we schedule that now or wait till next week and get it on the agenda for maybe new business?
I would wait. I don't know how
Yeah,
much time it's gonna take us to do our job.
Okay,
I mean,
Yeah.
if it's not, if we don't put it on this month, we get it next month. I give you guys a month to look at everything.
excellent. Thank you. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Having
I think-
said that, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, sorry, I think Eric has put a box on the table in the office of a lot of his paperwork, and it might include some of the policies that he had started to work on.
Yes. So I think it's just very important, and number one, thanks, Chris, for jumping on the policy review, but we need to get that squared away early this year. Having said that, we've gone through the 17.
Oh,
I
one
am-
No
more.
engineering.
No, we got it.
Oh,
We got Ed. We gotta get Ed.
Yeah,
I'm out.
engineering, buildings, I'll continue with that.
Well, first of all, Ed, I apologize. It was not on the agenda. Robin, can you make a change?
It's on mine.
It's on mine.
I got the
Yeah.
wrong one.
Mine too. And I got
Last
this
one?
now.
Last item?
It didn't make the page.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
And that's Ed. Thank you, Ed. You're doing a
welcome.
fantastic job
Oh,
with
thank
that.
you, thank you.
No, it's good to have an engineer and an attorney on board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So having said that, we've gone through, unless of course we have anything else to discuss tonight, we've gone through the 17 items on the agenda.
I just have one question.
Yes, sir.
How are we gonna go forward with next door? We gonna get a committee together? Are we gonna get a group or?
So that would be new business for next week. I'm going to add a line item with respect to that. I think we need to start talking about it by establishing a civilian liaison committee, but that's just my thought. I think we need to have a thoughtful discussion with respect to that because the timing may be really bad right now. I think there's a lot of consideration, but we're and there's a lot of factors involved, including form-based code and things of that nature. So I think we need to have a thoughtful, well-informed discussion on this issue.
I agree.
So we'll put it on the agenda for next week.
Okay,
I won't, I've been here for 7 days. I won't be prepared to discuss it next week.
now why don't you, I'll meet up with you. I'll straighten you out.
You'll try.
Yeah, I did try once already, so.
Yeah. Sandra?
Yes, I actually just wanted to ask a question, if I may. Just when Brian, you refer to the going forward with people next door, could you just clarify the next door for me?
All right,
Thanks.
495.
495 King Street, the addition.
Okay. Thank you.
There's a history here, Sandra. I'll talk to you about it.
Okay.
Sandra, could you do me a favor?
Okay.
I think what I would need, if you don't mind, and not just for me, I assume the entire board, could we get an updated contact list for the board? Home phones, cell phones, work phones, email, addresses. And if you could also ask the chiefs to provide us with an updated roster, active and inactive.
Yes,
Thank you.
you're
Good
welcome.
idea, good idea, Chris. Thank you. Any other discussion with respect to the organization meeting tonight?
Nope.
Anything from the chief? Chief Iden?
Paul, you're muted.
Yeah, I couldn't find the button. No, welcome, Sandra. It was funny. I was texting Scott to see if you were the same Sandra Stein. So welcome aboard.
Thank you. Thank you, Chief Iden. I appreciate it.
And, from Chief Maitland and Chief Bologna, whatever we can do to help, please don't hesitate to ask. And especially if you need us to straighten out the board members for you, we're good at that.
Oh, my.
Thank you, Paul. Thanks.
Thanks, Chief.
Paul, no welcome aboard for me.
Nah, It's like deja vu all over again.
Thanks, Yogi.
So just one final thing, before we can entertain a motion to close the meeting. I will reach out to the other individual who submitted a letter of intro and resume and inform that candidate that they were not selected for the position. And I will thank them for submitting, and I would ask them to always be interested in resubmit, perhaps next year, if needed. So having said that, I'll do that as soon as we finish the meeting here, with your permission, guys.
Yep.
Yep.
Very good.
So just to clarify with Sandra, we have 30 days to take our oath of office at the town of Newcastle and to give it to both Mount Pleasant and Newcastle.
Thank you.
Oh, Robin, thank you. And Robin, this is what we were talking about earlier today. This is where this coming year, I need you to jump in and remind us of certain things. So I got sworn in by the town clerk. I need to get that document to you, Sandra, so we can get it forwarded to Mount Pleasant. It's already on file in Newcastle, but do we need to get it to Mount Kisco?
No.
No.
Because different contract. Got it.
I think it's in the book, though. I think the clerk does that.
Yes.
I
it's in the
don't
book.
think so.
Yes, the clerk does it.
Yeah, they keep it in the book.
They keep in the book, but we need to send to Mount Pleasant. We
Yes,
do.
we're in 2 towns. We need to supply it to 2 towns.
I don't have it.
We never did.
Well, Chris,
before.
you can just go down and take a photo of it. That's what I did. And then
You
we
get
can-
sworn, Chris?
I'm sorry?
You get sworn?
Sworn in.
Okay.
I have to go.
I couldn't be here if I hadn't. Oh,
Oh, you
sorry,
didn't.
I
Tony.
didn't. Yeah, I didn't go. I didn't have time yet, but I'm going to go.
Is anyone a notary?
I am.
Okay, because you can get the New York State form and just have it notarized, and that's also the oath of office.
Oh,
Yeah,
good.
and under New York State Executive Order 202.7, we don't even have to be in the same room. I can notarize you virtually, Tony.
Okay, thank you. Save me a trip.
There you are.
And everybody know they have to take the course?
Yes, I'm not going in person. I'm going to take mine electronically. It seems to have changed.
Yes.
Yeah.
And another question. Will we all be automatically enrolled in membership in the Chiefs Association, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, so we can take advantage of those discounts?
We should be.
So,
Yeah, I think we passed that a couple of months ago.
Well, no, but we have the list of organizations. I know that often
Robin,
we are.
which one did we pass? Which one was it?
The FASNY one where everyone, we got the roster. I'm not
Yeah.
sure if you're on the roster, then yes, you're included.
yeah,
Yeah, the member.
we included the board and all
The member.
volunteer firefighters.
Right.
A few
I
months
was
ago.
really thinking the Association of Fire Districts.
Yeah, that's the
That was it. Or the New York State Association of Fire Chiefs, maybe too.
So I think the way to do this, Chris, because last year I received very, very little information myself. I think that what we'll need to do is this year is maybe follow up with Sandra and make sure that if we're interested in any one of these more than the other, we'll just make sure that we do a by name for those associations that we're more interested in or mostly interested in.
Okay, some have some very informative publications that are worth reading.
Absolutely. And then Sandra, the commissioners, myself, Chris, and I believe Tony are required to take some training. We'll talk about that next week, and you'll need to keep us apprised of some of those requirements. But we'll get you up to speed on all that.
Sandra's required too.
Say again?
Sandra is required to take a course too.
Oh, excellent. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I can at least supply of this list, the payments that we've made and what kind of memberships we have to you so that you can look
Oh,
at it and
perfect.
review it.
Thank you, Robin. Perfect.
Mhm.
Because one of them is New York State Chief Association of Fire Chiefs.
No, it's really not a public forum to speak, but you did mention the Northern Westchester Fire Chiefs Association. That doesn't exist.
Okay,
It's
hold
been
on.
defunct for a number of years.
Yeah, I was going
Okay.
to ask.
So the Northern Westchester Fire Chiefs Association no longer exists.
Correct.
Can
So
we
that
take
should be
that off?
easy. Should be easy to get into.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you could be a charter member, Chris.
Yeah. Robin, can we scratch that off the list, please?
Yes.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Paul.
I'm here to please.
Again, welcome aboard to Chris and Sandra. It's great to
Yeah.
have Robin back. I look forward to working with everyone this year. I'll entertain any discussion or motion at this point.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Chris, don't forget to send that to me.
I'm waiting for Terry to say all opposed.
Okay. And
Is there any opposition to the motion?
No, sorry.
All right, good night, everyone. Sandra, I'll reach out to you early next week.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for this opportunity again. I do appreciate it.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
Sandra.
Okay.
Have a good
Good
night.
night,
I'm
Be well.
going